Hello, welcome to your quote of the day. And today's quote is from Susan Jeffers and is about all responsibility and own it. Take responsibility and own it. And the quote says, taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you're being, doing, having, or feeling. Woohoo! Do you agree with this quote? I certainly do. And you know why? I know it's not what you probably want to hear because it's uncomfortable to know the truth. But as you're listening to this podcast, I assume you are an adult or young adult. So I'm afraid the times where somebody else was responsible for your happiness are gone. And that's fine. That's fine because when we were children, our carer or parents decided when and what will make us happy. We didn't have freedom. While now, as an adult, we have the freedom to do whatever we want. Of course, we understand that some things have consequences. I believe most of the things we do have consequences, either positive or negative. But the thing is, it's all about being responsible and owning it. We all do stupid things. I certainly do stupid things here and there. And I know sometimes, when you're doing something that is stupid, there can be a small thing or like something more serious. But the point is, the important thing is that if shit hits the fan, then you own it. And I believe that taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you are being, doing, having or feeling, as Susan says, because let me explain you why. Feeling. Nobody can make you feel something that you don't want to feel. However, people can trigger negative emotions in you. So some people are able to make us feel within nanoseconds inadequate or angry or frustrated or worthless or fat or ugly, old, young, whatever it is. And the thing is, we have those fears already inside us. If you don't believe me, listen to this. If somebody accuses you to be a green alien, you will not get offended because what they're talking about? I'm not green and I'm not an alien because I belong to planet Earth. So unless you're from another planet, but unless you're green, you won't get offended. The point is, when somebody says something that hurts our feelings or trigger us, is because at some level we think it's true, which doesn't mean that it's true. But we think it's true. It's different. I, as a therapist, have worked with so many people who think they're fat and they're underweight. So they think they are fat, and if people say to them, they do any comment on the weight, they will freak out and they will think that they are overweight, which they are not, because medically speaking, they are underweight. This is an example. But, so feeling is more our responsibility. And we are always going to be triggered by others. But the point is, we can be fast on healing and moving on from things and not taking offense personally. Taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you are having. This is powerful, and this is something I need to work on. Because when I see people who are less fortunate than me, I always feel a bit guilt. And it's something that I struggle with. And I don't know what to do about it, because if it was for me, I would help everybody. But the point is, there are people who are more fortunate than me, and I don't expect them to help me to reach my goals or a comfortable life. I don't rely on others to help me out. So it's a bit tricky. It's like, I think I have to own it to people who have less than me, but I don't expect it from people who have more. So I don't understand why at this level I am still triggered by these old narratives. Now, I would like to heal this aspect of mine, but doesn't mean that I want to become somebody who's totally, that will walk by people who are homeless and ignore them. No. I want to be empathetic and compassionate about them, because let's be honest, that's a very dramatic thing to live. But I don't want to be feeling guilty. I don't think my guilt can help them in any way. I would rather, probably it would be more helpful if I help them with a few quids, it means cash in the UK, a few pounds or a few dollars, or I can interact with them as they are considered invisible, because we tend to avoid them because they make us feel uncomfortable. And also, I've noticed there is a common fear when we walk by a homeless person, because we hope that will never happen to us, but we never know, because life is unpredictable, and that's scary if we can end up like them. But if we know that we have this minimal chance that that can happen to us or somebody we know, then maybe we can be more compassionate and empathetic towards the homeless people. And taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you're doing. Now, as an adult, you either do or you don't do. You know, a lot of people say, I'm trying. That's great. But trying is either you're doing or you're not doing. So, the thing is, people will criticize you for your choices, your hobbies, your careers, what you do during the day. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your life. One day, all of us in the world, not only you who are listening to me and me, but the 7.5 billion people that are in the world, one day we are going to die. And before we die, we need to own to ourselves what we did right, what we did wrong, and what we did with our lives. So it's very important that we own also what we are doing. And last but not least, taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you are being. Pa-pum! This is powerful. Because being is like so many of us, me included in the past, I try to conform. I try to conform to society. And I try to expect that people will like me more if I just fit in. And the fact of fit in is very important when we are children and teenagers. At that age, we need to fit in within a group. That's why kids go hang out in small groups and they dress alike, they listen to the same music, they talk in the same ways, because they need to belong. And that's when they start to get distance from their parents, the rebellious phase, which it's usually a healthy phase when they rebel against the parents. When we rebel against our parents, it's because we are building up our own identity. And as a parent, it's important that they understand that it's not a personal attack, because otherwise they can create a break point between them and their own kids. And if the break point happens, then the kid can take the wrong way, hang out with the wrong people, and end up in trouble. So it's very important that as adults we stop trying to fit in. We stop being people pleasing. It's so exhausting and tiring to be a people pleaser. Don't be a people pleaser. It's not worthy. And honestly, being a people pleaser means you have to do a lot of work to try to guess, because it's all a guess, what other people expect you to say, do, behave. It's exhausting. And I read a quote some time ago. It's better to be hated for who you are rather than liked for who you're not. And I think it's a bit harsh, because why somebody will hate you? But yeah, being yourself will mean that some people will not like you. But newsflash, I sometimes come across to people that are trying to clearly impress me a bit too much and a people pleaser. And I don't know if I can trust them, because it's like, do they have an agenda? What do they want from me? Why they're trying so hard to please? They're trying so hard. And now, I mean, when you start a date, you always try to impress, of course. But some people do that a bit too much, and it creates a bit of suspicious. So this is why, if you have people, please try to work on that, because it creates suspicious and you're not being authentic. Because nobody wants somebody that always says yes, yes, of course, that's fine, I can do whatever you want. No, have an opinion and share it with kindness and gentleness, but also be assertive. And don't justify who you are. If you are an accountant or an artist, or you are a mom, a dad, a son, whatever it is you are, own it. Own it. If you come from humble backgrounds, own it. If you come from, I don't know, wherever is your culture, country, own it. Be yourself. And because the world needs more authentic people. Okay? I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. And if you like, please like and subscribe. Chat to you soon. Ciao.